Hey folks, this is Rabble Rousing Rich Bergeron.
Yep. And Psychic Tom Padgett with us. Any crystal ball.
Alright. So we got a lot to cover
Tom,
this week.
I'm very upset. Did your crystal ball didn't tell me how terrible that bank fight was going to be last week. By the second round, it was a knockdown. Second, I'm like, oh, maybe this won't be so bad. Then it got into such a clinch and grab and maul, and it was so hard to watch. I actually went over to started making dinner.
Yeah. It's where to even begin. I'm sure we'll get to it. Let's not get started already here. We'll stick with the protocol. But yeah, it's so fun.
Not really
that was the
surprised,
kind of thing that you could.
probably for a lot of boxing people, but James DeGale retired officially. That's in the news. Long time fighter there. So it says here. Two-time champion. James DeGale announced his retirement today, 10 years after his professional debut. First British boxer to win an Olympic gold medal and a pro world title. He said there's nothing left to prove. 33 years old, lost last Saturday by unanimous decision to Chris Eubank Jr. for the vacant and minor IBO super middleweight title. Well, that's the first time I've heard of a minor title. I've heard of super titles, but now they've got minor titles. They're in trouble. So, 25 wins, 3 losses by decision, and 1 draw. Final record. He says, it's hard to admit that I'm not the fighter I once was. My injuries have taken a toll both on mind and body, and these things have contributed to impact my performance in the ring. So, yeah. Had also a shoulder surgery issue, so that might have something to do with it. Maybe it didn't take. So, they had that upset by Caleb Truax there. Another strange boxing story here from one of the guys I've met. One of the boxing promoters from Rhode Island I've actually met. I still do a lot of stuff for them, but I used to do a lot of in-person stuff for them at events. Jimmy Birchfield Sr., boxing promoter. He's arrested Saturday night. Him and 2 other people on charges of disorderly conduct. They said he and another man were arrested ringside when a fight broke out between the 2 men and one of the boxers. So a fighter and the promoter actually fought. So I don't know what the details are or how this started, but one statement of the officer was, it definitely had the potential to escalate beyond what took place. And if you're on video of the incident to see if anybody else should face criminal charges. But they didn't really say much on the official CES website. They just thanked everybody. So, yeah, there's not really much information, but Jimmy Birchfield seems like the last guy to get in a fight.
You're New England. People getting in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, what do you got? Kraft getting in trouble?
Yeah, I had a wood customer of mine actually come out wearing a I Love New York shirt the other day. I guess she was offended by my Patriots hat. And she proceeded to tell me all about Bob Kraft when it first came out, and that the Patriots should be suspended.
Rich, what was funny?
Funny. He said maybe he'll be suspended as the owner. I don't know.
The time
the question is, why didn't he just fly out to Las Vegas where it's legal?
Well, it's not legal in Vegas. You got to go outside.
I'm kind of wondering about that. I mean.
Well, he lives in Florida. That's why. He doesn't have a place up there.
It's the time to see. Well, we had left our hotel. We're walking to the stadium. I know you shortly after we did. fan. At night. And the guy goes, I'm not even a Yankees fan. He's like, I have a shirt that says New York. But he goes, I'm a gang. I mean, they say we're bad in Philadelphia. I don't know. You guys up there are a little loco.
Yeah, sometimes we can get heated, when, especially when it comes to the Yankees. Well, yeah, I thought it was funny. Shoot.
Hey, trust me, I know the feelings with the Dallas Cowboys.
Totally. But yeah, we had some big fights over the last weekend, and we also got a couple stories here. Now, this one I sent you guys both because, coming from CNN, I had to wonder, is this fake news? Left-handed people are better in combat than their right-handed counterparts, according to new research. Something that may help to explain the continued existence of southpaws, left-handers. 10% of the population is left-handed. What was that, Tony?
Mickey Goldmill would take offense to that. Because he said, pause, right ain't no damn good, you go the wrong way, you lead with your head, the outlaw southpaws.
Yeah. So, but this was actually, they look back during more violent eras in human history. They say this meant that left-handed people would have been dominant in physical confrontation and therefore more able to spread their genes. So that's an interesting aspect of it. I thought that was cool.
I know in the box, well, yeah, they're considered awkward because you look at the fight. I mean, how many, are a rarity. But at the same time, they have, weaknesses too, and a lot of times it's hard for them to get the good sparring, or it's hard for them to, I'll give you a perfect example. Training is out. I had two guys, and I saw the one just a few weeks ago. The other one I saw about a year ago. They both were at Lockhaven when I was helping out as a coach. And they were both sure. We're not going to be southpaw. I'm like, you're throwing me up. Because I'm trying to help you both with the drill here, but you're goddamn backwards. So, when it's training sometimes, it's not always as easy to train a southpaw, because then you got to do everything backwards. Me working the pads.
Right.
Now, I'm a guy it's like in football. You have the defensive coaches that run the 4-3 defense, the other ones that run the 3-4. And they're set in their ways, and that's the system they run. Same thing with working the pads in boxing. Now, I'm a guy that I like to catch for a conventional right-hand fighter the jab and the straight right with my right hand, because I want the jab and I want the right hand following it. Other guys will catch the jab with their left hand with their right hand. It's like, for me, when I'm calling a 1-2, I'm catching right, and I'm calling like a double jab right hand. I'm right. But then it's like if you're the southpaw and I'm calling a jab left hand, give me a 1-2, I'm catching a left, And for me, that even throws me off sometimes, because I've been trained a whole lot of southpaws. I've trained some, but not many.
Well, the good news for all your right-handers out there is that it's only a slight, small effect of the. If you take a randomly selected left-handed fighter, it would have a higher rating than a randomly selected. No, results. All right, here's the sentence. This is weird. Okay, this is what makes me think it's fake news. Results show that a randomly selected left-handed fighter would have a higher rating than a randomly selected right-handed fighter, 54% of the time. And this is a rating system that takes into account the quality of opponent and other metrics to provide a complete picture of the matchup, I guess. And this is analyzing the performance of almost 10,000 boxers and mixed martial arts fighters. 54%.
Wouldn't it be a smaller sample group though? Because what is the percentage of left-handed people in the population? I thought it was as low as 10%.
that's what I just said.
I heard it was like at 8. That's what I heard. I mean,
Oh, okay, so if that's the fact, wouldn't their advantage be that it's hard to find good sparring partners that are southpaws, but they have the advantage because everyone that 9 out of 10 guys that they spar with would be conventional fighters. They learn how to handle conventional fighters. I mean, I don't know this, but I would have to assume that it is a much smaller percentage.
10%. 10% of the population. Southpaw.
Okay, and then the old school trainers get the Yamato types would probably work with the fighters more specifically about how to fight a southpaw. Maybe that art's being lost so much.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or maybe it's just junk science.
Not that easy. Not that easy. For most people.
Well, one of my only losses in college combat was to a southpaw. Jesse Bond. He was quite a crafty one.
And you, I'll tell you, like, I put a handful of southpaws. The guy that I had the measure with was a guy named Dave Adam. And he was lighter than me, but he was tall, he was lanky, long arms, he was real quick, he had good foot movement, and he gave me fits. And he in nationals in 97. Where other guys that I fought that were southpaws, Jesse Bond, I didn't have a hard time with him, even though I didn't get the one decision, because he would fight coming at me, and by him fighting inside on me, it was giving me perfect openings to land right hand to the solar plexus and my left hook around his elbow. Especially because his right hand, the lead hand, his right hand was extended out a little bit more, so I had more to get under that elbow. But the other guy, Dave Adams, I had a hell of a time with. He was a guy that I sparred in my gym sometimes, and I don't remember his name, but he was like Dave Adams. Tall, lanky, quick hands, good movement, and I had a hell of a time with him, just because of the way he was able to move, and I had a hard time trying to keep up with him. So I think a lot of it is also with the style. For me, I could fight taller, conventional fighter because I would try to take their jab away from them, and then fight on the inside. And southpaw was like the outside. I had a bitch of a time with, but a southpaw that was maybe a little bit more physical and one that was right close to me, I thought was tailor-made for me.
Yeah, sometimes.
And then you look at how many fighters in the past have been converted. There was always, because I guess in the old days, left-handers had trouble getting fights, and then you have guys. There was a rumor that Sonny Liston, who had a power driver left jab, was a converted southpaw. And then you look at Jerry Cooney. Yeah, his best punch was a left hook, and yet he fought conventional. He didn't come out like a southpaw, and yet his right hand was really not a big force.
Yeah, it was mediocre. Time was funny. A few weeks ago, maybe right around the holidays, I'm waiting for her to come back. She just messaged me today. The girl Amy that I trained, she's had some shoulder issues, and she's also been doing her personal training side business. So I haven't had her in my gym a lot. Well, one day we were training, and when she first came over, her left hand was next to useless, because she never used it. And I said, Amy, I'm going to force you to work on this left hand. And I said, there are rounds I will not call a single right hand. I will call jabs, hooks, double jabs, double hooks, slip under, bob and weave, come up with a hook, lead left uppercut. I'm going to make you do all that because I want your left hand to be powerful. And it worked. She ended up developing a pretty good left hand. And I was saying one day to her, we were in a training session, and I said something about it. I was always lucky with, my left hand, my left hook. She goes, well, you're left-handed. over here. One of the first things I did was I took I told you to get in your stance, and you did. And you had your lead hand was your right hand, your power hand. And then I made you get in a pitcher stance, like you were throwing a baseball. And you put your right hand and your right foot went back. And I asked you why you did that. You said, because that way I can throw full power into my pitch. And I said, exactly. Then what's the difference in boxing? I said, if I did that to you on day one, wouldn't it be a hypocrite if I was then fighting left-handed? Or fighting conventional when I'm left-handed? Because I guess you're right.
Yeah, there's a lot of drills that help out. I think training people from both sides, in my limited experience, a couple of years of doing it, as a coach up in Norwich, I saw that it helped me realize the value of knowing how to switch.
Yeah, and you say that because, like, I'm really, really old school, and I like to perfect this stance, and that being, especially power hand to the back. I mean, hey, there are a lot of great fighters that do that. That's my gym does it often. And in fact, the one gentleman that beat him does it exceptionally, and he liked my Instagram post tonight. Parents put Crawford. Terence Crawford is a guy that will switch stance, and he's very effective. Other fighters, don't like doing it because I said it really messes with the footwork. And if you don't have the footwork, you're done.
Right.
The house will not.
Well, that's why I always thought it would be better used in MMA. Since I haven't been thinking about getting into a boxing ring again, I've been thinking about getting into MMA at some point. So I've been really looking at the ways that it could be an advantage there, and it's way more opportunities there to score damage by switching stances. And sometimes you have to switch stances because of the leg kicks. You get your leg kicked so many times you can't put that leg out there. So it's very valuable there, way more so I think than in boxing. Because like you said, people just experiment with it, or they can't figure it out. Your brain is programmed one way your whole life, and then you're going to try to switch it up. It's very hard to do. But in a situation where you can kick and punch and elbow, and there's all different kinds of other elements, it's helpful to know how to switch and to use it wisely.
Yeah, and we would do a lot of switch kicks where we wouldn't actually move our hips much, but we would just do a quick little stutter step and then kick with the left leg. But in boxing, it's so much harder, it seems. At least was for me.
Right. All right, well, moving on, we have another big story here. PFL, Professional Fighters League. I questioned the finances behind it a few months ago, and I really wasn't sure where they were going with it, whether it was going to take off. And it didn't really get much fanfare, but I'll tell you, ESPN is making some moves because their ESPN Plus streaming service has picked up the Professional Fighters League. And it's a multi-year deal with ESPN, so they're making a big play into combat sports here with this service. And this one was a surprise, even though there's some high-profile people involved. Mark Burnett, the creator of Survivor and all kinds of other media. Kevin Hart, the comedian. Tony Robbins is involved. Ted Leonsis and Riot Games co-founder Brian Beck. Ted Leonsis is a billionaire tech entrepreneur. But I'll tell you who's got to be pissed is all the freaking ESPN sports anchors that have been fired in the last 5 years. So they can make enough money for this kind of shit to happen. But yeah, they went through a huge round of layoffs. I don't know what happened where they're getting all this capital all of a sudden. But they're making some big moves, and it's good for fight fans, I guess, especially fight fans who have ESPN Plus. So, obviously they paid $1.5 billion for the 5-year deal with the UFC. So, took that right out of Fox's hands. And the PFL is just another stepping stone here. It makes you wonder, though, now that you have these two organizations under the same television umbrella, maybe we're going to have a business as usual situation. UFC's going to come and try to buy them out, maybe? I don't know. I could see it happening, though. I really could. And then they'll destroy it. But yeah, the season culminates every year with a New Year's Eve card with title fights in every weight class, and the winners in each weight class get $1 million. So it is right up a guy like Mark Burnett's alley, because that's how the Survivor show started. $1 million prize for the winner, but I don't know, this is fighting involved instead of strategy. Nobody gets voted off the island. So, six 5-hour PFL regular season events will take place on Thursday nights from May to August. 3 PFL playoff events will take place in October, with coverage also carried across ESPN Plus, ESPN 2, and ESPN Deportes. PFL playoff events will feature the top 8 fighters in each of the competition's 6 weight classes, attempting to win twice in the same night to advance to the PFL championship. And then, in addition to the live events, ESPN platforms will present pre- and post-event coverage and additional exclusive PFL content. And it's going to start with the telecast of the 2018 PFL season review and 2019 roster selection show in the spring. Specific scheduling will be figured out soon. So there it is. They're making a big play. Exciting time to be an ESPN fan, I guess. Alright. So we got a big fight coming up this weekend in MMA. UFC 235. Jones versus Smith. Before we get to that, we got to go over the last weekend's events. I didn't even get to see either one of them. One of them was because of the time difference, and the other one because I fell asleep right before the first fight. I was so wiped out from work. So, that's how it goes, unfortunately. But anyway, over in Ireland, James Gallagher beat up Stephen Graham, gave him a quick finish, submission, rear naked choke, 2 minutes and 29 seconds into the first round. That was their main event. And Miles Price got a split decision win over Peter Queally. Kiefer Crosby beat Daniel Olejniczak. Probably put in that one. That was also a rear naked choke submission, 4 minutes and 8 seconds into the first round. And then Richie Smullen beat Adam Gusab by unanimous decision. And before that, Charlie Ward got a knockout win over Jimmy Stevenson, 34 seconds into the first round. And we'll go over all of them. There's quite the list there. But that was over in Ireland. Good event for Bellator. I didn't really see it, obviously, but I'm sure they were good fights. Then we had Fight Night, UFC Fight Night 145 over in the Czech Republic, Prague. Thiago Santos in the main event there over Jan Blachowicz, getting the win 39 seconds into round 3 with a TKO from punches. You get to see that one, Tom? Tom? Still with us?
Yeah, you faded out.
Oh. Did you get to see that fight?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't see the Polish guy. I can hear you now. No, I didn't see.
Yeah, we got bad connection tonight.
Yeah, you'll just I'll be like in here or anything.
Right. I think as I shut Windows down, it will come back. I don't know. But anyway, co-main event: Stefan Struve beat Marcos Rogerio de Lima by arm triangle choke, 2 minutes and 21 seconds into the second round. Mikhail Oleksijuk beat Gian Vellante by TKO from punches, 1 minute and 34 seconds into the fight. We had a couple of unanimous decision fights. Liz Carmouche over Lucy Pudilova. And then Peter Yan over John Dodson. John Dodson obviously missing the step. That's I think the second loss in a row for him, if I remember correctly. But anyway, yeah, it's slipping a little bit. Magomed Ankalaev beating Clitson Farias D. Abreu by unanimous decision. Dwight Grant over Carlo Pedisoli Jr. by TKO with 1 second left in the first round. Knocked him out with punches. Chris Fishgold beat Daniel Tamor by a rear naked choke, 1 minute and 10 seconds into round 2. And Jillian Robertson beat Veronica Macedo by a rear naked choke, 3 minutes and 27 seconds into round 2. Fourth fight of the night, Gazmir Hadzovic beat Marco Polo Reyes by TKO, 2 minutes and 3 seconds into round 2. Ismael Nardia beat Michael Prazeres by unanimous decision. Carlos Diego Ferreira beat Rustam Kabilov by unanimous decision. And Damir Ismagulov beat Joel Alvarez by unanimous decision. Yeah, so that's it. No Bellator fights this weekend, but we have UFC 235, Jones versus Smith. John Jones, right back in action here. Feels like he was just in the cage a week ago. A little longer than that, but 23-1 is his record, and of course the one is a very controversial disqualification for 12-6 elbows. So it's kind of still looked upon as undefeated by a lot of people. But tough fight for him, Anthony Smith. He's got a lot of experience. 31-13 is his record. Very crafty, very dynamic, and he's got a great chin. So I'm going to guess that John can handle him, but you can never doubt a puncher's chance with Anthony Smith. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I would agree. And normally when we say puncher's chance, not too good for the puncher. And he thinks possible.
Right.
But my crystal ball cannot get Jones's grinning face off it.
Ooh.
So take that one.
All right.
Take that one to the bank right there.
We have a different type of fight matchup here. Tyron Woodley versus Kamaru Usman. And Usman is more of a technical fighter than Woodley. I think he's very careful, I want to say, in his fighting style. He doesn't really take a lot of risks. Woodley's more of a brawler, and I think he's gonna really teach Kamaru a little bit of a lesson in this one. I think he's gonna knock him out very quickly. He's ready for this too. He's had a long time off.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, and I just kind of get the feeling in this one that everything Usman does, Woodley does a little better.
Right.
Usman's a very technical wrestler, but that's where Woodley shines also. And he's technical striking, but so is Woodley. And like you said, Woodley's a little more aggressive. So, I mean, he hasn't been in his last few fights. I think he's overdue for a good performance, and I think Woodley keeps it.
And then we have Robbie Lawler back in action after a long layoff. Finally, 28-12, fighting Ben Askren, 18-0 in his first foray into the UFC here from the trade, so to speak, between one championship and the UFC, where they gave up Demetrius Johnson for Ben Askren and 3 first-round draft picks.
This to me is this is the most intriguing fight of the night. He should have been in the UFC, but I guess he really had some kind of personal feud with Dana.
Yeah, Dana thought he was a boring fighter.
They buried the hatchet, and the question is, no one has really been effective against Askren's takedown. It's like one-note Johnny. Right. You know what he's going to do, can stop it. And Robbie Lawler's comment is, he says, I know I'm picked to beat him. The UFC supposedly hand. I don't pay attention to that. So this is one that's really going to be fast, and I can see it going either way.
Right. Yeah, I'm not really going to be giving a solid prediction on that one.
Real interesting.
I'd say, I'd go with the undefeated fighter, and because Robbie has had such a long layoff, and it's not for a surgery or anything like that. It's for head issues. So this is going to be a tough one for him to bounce back against such a world-class athlete here who's undefeated. I'm going to lean towards Askren, but I'm going to be rooting for Robbie to make that comeback. So, I don't really have anything against Ben.
And I guess the counter. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have anything against Ben, but Robbie's just. I think he needs it more. He really needs to get that win and then come back and show that he's there. He's still there.
Yeah, because you remember Robbie's been around forever. I mean, I remember reading about it when we used to get all the it was called Grappling Magazine initially, then it switched over to MMA, but we used to get magazines for the internet. Really ran those out of business. But yeah, he's been around forever. The argument for him is quality of opposition.
Right.
That Askren was in the early days of Bellator when it was maybe like double A minor leagues, not the triple A or even a rival league like it is now. And then when he went to one, what kind of competition did he have? That's the question mark.
Right.
That he could do his one-note Johnny stuff very effectively. Nobody could stop him. Everyone knows what he's going to do. Can he do it against a former champ? And this is one that is, like I said, I could see anything happening. I could see it ending quick. I could see it being a long one. Either guy, you could make an argument for either one.
Yes, sir. Also, we have Tony's buddy Tisha the Tiny Tornado Torres. She is 10-3, fighting Weili Zhang. Weili Zhang, who's 18-1. Tough fight on the table for a little tornado. Cody Garbrandt also on the card. He's 11-2, fighting Pedro Munoz, who is 17-3. So a little bit more experience there, but obviously Cody's was undefeated, so he's 11 and what's his name? TJ. He's 11 and TJ. 2 losses.
Yeah, that's a good way to word it. Boy, that's got to be driving Cody crazy. I mean, because that division's pretty wide open on that Morales guy from the Brazilian is he's going to be hard to handle for any of those guys.
Right.
And I don't know. Have you heard much about Dominic Cruz? Is he more comfortable behind the microphone, or does he plan on fighting again?
He's been talking about getting back in there. It seems like every fight card he's thinking about how he'd match up with him. And he talked about it, so he's coming back soon. But yeah, he's good.
Well, yeah, I think we've been hearing that for over a year now. So I'm just wondering. This Morales guy maybe could be real interesting here, but then we'll see how it goes. We'll see how TJ rebounds from his setback.
Right. We've got Jeremy Stevens, 15-0, fighting Zabit Magomed Sharipov, who is 16-1. Misha Sharkunov, also on the card, 14-4, fighting another one of my favorite names in MMA, Johnny Walker. I feel like he was just in a fight a week ago, for real. Maybe this is a different Johnny Walker.
That is another intriguing one. Walker's freakishly talented, but that's one tough question. So I haven't even looked at the odds on that one yet.
It's a pretty stacked card. There's some great names on it. The fifth fight of the night here. Look at the experience here. Alejandro Perez, 21-6-1, fighting Cody Stammen, who's 17-2. You hardly ever see that kind of a record on the fifth fight of the night. And then you've got Diego Sanchez also on the card on the fourth fight of the night, 28-11, fighting Mickey Gall, who's 5-1. So big step down for Diego, but they're trying to obviously. I think we can say that Diego's going to have to shine, but Mickey Gall's no cheap date. Yeah, obviously. Well,
so this will be a fun one too.
Prove that. Anyway, we're going to leave off the last three. Not big fights, but probably not going to be televised unless it's on Fight Pass. We got some boxing to catch up with. Let's see, last week the 23rd, the big one was DeGale versus Eubank Jr. We talked a little bit about that. Also had Brandon Rios losing to Humberto Soto. Manuel Tago took his win to go over Vyacheslav Gusev. Also Lee Selby beating Omar Douglas. And Joe Joyce over Bermain Stavern. That one was not a good fight for Stavern at all, from what I heard. Not good at all.
You know what? I mean, Stavern's a lot of fun. And some right hands, especially early. But the problem was he took some shot and he got stopped pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, I think there was another problem. 263 pounds.
Big problem. Big problem.
Yeah, that's a very big. I mean, yeah, he looked like a big chocolate sundae. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
never heard of it before, but yeah, you're right. Like David said, like going into the fight, you know, and it was funny because we were talking about press release that he did with all the came out from Don King with all the horrible misspellings and just how atrocious that was, but he was saying the whole time, it's like, I'm getting my title back. This is my title, and and some guy with 7 pro fights is going to challenge me, and he's sitting there going off and on. But then it's like you said, he came out there and he landed some shots, and like I said, watching the fight with my dad, we both had some interesting commentary. That Joe Joyce, who has potential. There was a talk about a potential fight with Luis King Kong Ortiz, and they said, no, Joyce is a couple fights away from that. And I turned to my dad mid-fight and I said, that's a good thing they didn't put him in there, because he's definitely not ready for Ortiz. Ortiz would have eaten his lunch today.
Right. And another fight last weekend.
And you wonder if Shereen is just fighting for the money. That's the feeling I get.
Yeah.
Yeah, or because he's Don
Hanging around
King's
for the
last
paycheck,
hope.
and that's never good.
He's fighting for Don King's last paycheck.
Yeah.
Anyway, another fight we had last weekend was Anthony Durrell beating Avni Yildirim. Showtime card.
The big one. Yeah. How about the scoring? Rich, did you have the judges' scores handy, by the way?
No. I don't think so.
They were all over the board. I mean, that's a...
I don't know if BoxRec has that anymore.
What's up?
Does it? Is it list the score?
With BoxRec, you have to log in. So if you log in with BoxRec, you can find out, first, you can find out the stuff like that. But you have to log in. You don't get it just by going on the site anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you. It just says win. TD.
Well, yeah, Tony, what's your comment on Durrell on that one? That's kind of the story. What do you think?
It was, I answered Joe when the Durrell, I didn't fall asleep. So I did not get to see the fight. I was talking to my dad afterwards, and close, and that you disagree with the road betting it. But the player, and I don't think it's as much as him. Maybe because of the bad luck. But with both of them, it always seems like something controversial happens. We had for 6 tournament where Andre got the one win by basically getting knocked unconscious while he was down. Had the one fight he the handler went over and sucker punched. Like non-controversial.
Whoa. All right. Well,
the reason I was talking about the judging, I think one judge, if I recall right, and I couldn't believe it. I was reading this, one judge had the loser winning like 118 to 110. That's something ridiculous. And I mean, I thought DeGale won, but he had way more trouble than you would think he could have. And had the challenger had a little more power, DeGale, it could easily be different.
Right. I'm trying to log into boxing right now.
Well, we got a bunch of fights coming up this weekend, Saturday in particular. And I'm gonna this is a crazy card. Let's talk about this one real quick. Heavyweight fight in Trinidad, Bolivia. Saul Farah, 68 wins, 23 losses, 3 draws. Fighting Jorge David Urquiza Anez, who is 7-5 for the Bolivian heavyweight title. I think that's our mismatch of the week.
Well, I mean that's a very prestigious.
Well, did you realize he has more letters in his name than fights?
Yeah.
When you put all 4 of those names together, you think about that? Wow, quite a title for a thin record.
Bolivian heavyweight title. And Saul Farah, 68 wins. He's actually only lost 1 of his last 6. 23 losses. And there's another guy on here. This could also be the mismatch of the week if the guy didn't have so many losses who's fighting him, but this is probably pretty rare. Ricardo Rios comes in at 0-1. No losses, no wins, 1 draw. What kind of shit is that? Fighting at cruiserweight.
Yeah, that's quite a record.
0-1.
Well, at least he's undefeated.
That's hard to do. Yeah. But he's fighting Esteban Hillman Cabaret, who is 42-21-2. 42 wins versus 9.
No, you got to wonder.
Yeah. And we got 2 Jesuses on this card since it's in Bolivia. Jesus Andres Cuellar Rojas, he is 1-0-1, fighting Domingo Noza Temo, who is 0-1-0. And then we got Elvis versus Jesus. In one fight. Elvis Verastegui.
Yeah, I'm having a visual of that.
Elvis versus Jesus. Elvis is 7-0 though. Elvis is undefeated. Jesus is 0-9 in this one. He's Ruben Jesus Pony Poichi. That's his name. 0-9. That's horrible. And you also got a guy who's 21-6 with 2 draws. Eddie Salvatierra at welterweight. He's fighting a guy who's 0-1. Fernando Jose Flores Quiroga. Everybody's got 4 names on this card. What the hell's up with that? You got another guy who's 39-55.
Hey, our four name fight of the week.
Yeah.
I got to
All right, give it to us.
Sorry for but it was Tim Tatum, is the worst name for a judge ever. 96, 94. DeGale. Mike Fitzgerald, 96, 94 for DeGale. And then Jurgen Langos, 98, 92 for Avnil Yadridium.
Wow. He was obviously in the tank for him.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's horrible. So we got 2 heavyweight title fights going on in Germany Saturday. I get Caballero, 18-0, fighting Andrei Rudenko, who's 32-3 for the EBU heavyweight title, European Union. Tom Schwartz also on the card at heavyweight. He's 23-0, undefeated, fighting Christian Kurstakic, who is 17-1. That's for the WBO Intercontinental heavyweight title. And then we got a Japanese fight on Saturday. Usually they have them on Sunday, but one's on Saturday. Kazuto Takasako, he is 10-0, fighting Shuji Kato, who is 10-1-1 for the Japanese middleweight title. It's in Tokyo. And we've even got fights in Malta going on, but nothing really worth talking about there. Here's a name for a fighter making his debut. Yusuf Bazooka.
Hi.
What's his last name? Bazooka. Bazooka. Making his debut. There's two guys named Zinad on the card. One guy's 12-0 at light heavyweight. The other guy's making his debut at welterweight. They must be brothers. Both names start with an M. Anyway. Big fights. Here's one in Zacatecas, Mexico. Mariana Juarez at bantamweight, 51-9-4, fighting Eva Naranjo, who is 12-0 for the WBC World Female Bantamweight title. That has got to be a tough woman right there. 51-9-4. I've never heard of a woman's record like that. That's a lot of fights for a female. All right. Over in Norway, we've got a decent couple fights. Welterweight main event, Dennis Ebay, who is 21-1, fighting Jonathan Jose Inez, who is 23-11-1. For the vacant IBO Intercontinental Welterweight title. And then the cruiserweight co-main event is Kai Robin Habna, who is 13-0, fighting Rad Rashid. That's another good first name for a fight. Rad. His name's Rad. Vacant IBO International Cruiserweight title on there. And then we have a super featherweight female fight. Somebody's always got to go here. Katharina Sanders, 10-0, and Rachel Ball, 4-0 in super featherweight. Alright, now, Anapa, Russia. We have a decent one in the main event. Vyacheslav Mirzaev, 11-1, fighting Yuthana Kainza, who's 21-2. And the entire rest of the card, you have the best record of anybody. It's 5-2.
Wow.
You got that kind of fight at the top, and everybody else is just a handful of fights. Here's one in Serbia. This has got to be the worst main event ever. Kisenja Medic is his last name. He's going to need a medic because he's fighting Nina Pavlovic. And he's 0-11. 0-11 is medic. And Pavlovic is 2-2-1. 2-2-1 versus 0-11. And we've got another fight, 6-20 versus 3-25. One guy is 10-10. He's a super welterweight with one draw. He's fighting a guy who's 2-36-3.
Wow.
Lousy fight cards. The big good one over here in the UK, over there in the UK, I should say. Eddie Hearn putting on this one. Jordan Gill, undefeated 22-0, fighting Emmanuel Dominguez, 24-7-2 at featherweight. And then you got Leigh Wood, 20-1, fighting Abraham Ose Bonsu, who's 13-3-1 at featherweight. And a cruiserweight fight, Richard Riakpore, who is 8-0, fighting Tommy McCarthy, 13-1, for the vacant WBA Intercontinental Cruiserweight title. Anthony Sims Jr. on the card at light heavyweight, 17-0, fighting Mateo Damian Verone, who's 28-21-3. Kieran Conway also in action, 9-0, fighting Gabor Gorbix, who is 26-14. That's about it for the good ones on that card. Coming to the end of the list there. We'll find a good one eventually. Alright, here's another 0-11. 0-11 in the main event in Fargo, North Dakota. This is no excuse. An American fight. That's ridiculous. This must not be the real main event. 0-11 versus Leo Medell, who is making his debut. Star Roberts. He's obviously not a very good star. Star is his first name. It's 2 R's. Star Roberts is 0-11 is his record. How does that happen? We got another guy on here who's 1-11, and he's in the co-main event. 1-11 versus 4-0 there. Alright, serious fights now. Brooklyn, New York. New York State Athletic Commission here. We got on Showtime Brian Carlos Castano, 15-0, fighting Arislandi Lara, who is 25-3-2 for the WBA World Super Welterweight title. And it's a big fight. Tough one for Arislandi, but yeah, it's the 3 losses you can't really look at. The last one he had was very controversial. I was there for that one, but yeah, he's had some real tough battles over the years. Co-main event: Brian Di Grazia, 24-1-1, fighting Eduardo Ramirez, who's 21-1-3, and then you've got heavyweight. I think you were just talking about this guy, Luis Ortiz, 30-1, fighting Christian Hammer. Great name for a boxer. 24-5.
Yeah.
Edwin Rodriguez also on the card. Former guest of ours. 30 wins, 2 losses. At cruiserweight. Fighting Mitch Williams. 16-6-3. Also bantamweights. Antonio Russell, 12-0. And Jose Maria Cardenas, who's 16-3. And Rances's little brother, or older brother, I think, LeDuan Bartholomew at super featherweight, 13-0-1, fighting Miguel Angel Perez Ispuro, who is 11-6-2. Here's a good one. The Carpenti brothers still fighting here. We got Jamie Walker in a main event, 9-1-1, fighting Dan Carpenti, who's 8-2 in Columbus, Ohio. In your backyard there, Tom. In ABA USA
Yes, sir.
Super Welterweight title and the USA Ohio State Super Welterweight title. And this is actually a pretty decent card. You got 16-0 heavyweight Junior Fa fighting Neufeld Owata, who is 16-2. George Arias at heavyweight, 12-0, fighting Robert Sims, who's 8-2. And we got Steven Shaw, 10-0 at heavyweight, fighting Donovan Dennis, who's 12-3. There's another heavyweight fight, too. Hemi Ahio, 12-0, fighting Ed Fountain, who's 12-4. Sounds like a heavyweight tournament. They're all guys with pretty decent records there. Let's see what else we got going on. That's it. Big stuff. They got a fight card in Pittsburgh, but I don't think Tony wants to hear about that. Not a big Pittsburgh fan, I don't think.
It's not.
No.
No. Alright. So unless you guys got anything else to add, I think we are done for the week here.
New attire, and when you see it, give me your honest opinion, and that's really just prepping up. There's a fight card in Philly tomorrow night at the Parks Casino. Unfortunately, I'm not able to attend, but I want to wish my good friend Garrett Wilson good luck. He's fighting the main event, and they're bringing a lot of fight cards to Philly. They had one last week at the new Metropolitan, which was a place that basically housed operas.
Yeah.
So they had a fight card there, and it's pretty successful from what I heard. So this is a good thing, people that say like boxing's a dying sport, they would have went to that fight card that I went to in South Philly the other week. I mean, it was standing room only. It was sold out a good week before the event. It was hard as hell to get tickets. I mean, that place was a packed atmosphere.
Awesome. Now they just need to bring some more boxing to New Hampshire, and we'll be all set. Maybe I'll be back into it. Yeah. We're going to be having a guest on pretty soon, shortly here, the next couple of weeks, too. We've got my Italian buddy there from Massachusetts. He used to be called the Italian Bazooka, Mark DeLuca. We've got him in the works for one of the next couple of weeks here before his fight on St. Patrick's Day. So, we'll talk to him. And he did avenge his loss finally against his one lone loss there that he got. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get him that week that he was fighting. We got his opponent on the show, but we didn't get him. It was kind of weird because I figured I would have a better chance of getting him when I told Murphy's boxing people that his father taught me how to box. Or he's one of the people, didn't really teach me everything, but gave me my first major lesson when he was a cop and was doing it on the side on weekends. So now he's out of commission with a brain injury, and sad story. It's, obviously, his son is carrying on the tradition, and is probably training too as well as fighting. But great boxing mind, his father. And it's a sad story, but it's a great kid. He's definitely working hard for his money for sure. And I'm looking forward to chatting with him. And hopefully, finding out his dad's doing all right. So we'll see. Next couple weeks. Till then, we're all set. Till next week, gentlemen.
Okay.
All right, guys. Let's enjoy the fight this weekend.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you next week. Hasta la vista, baby.